So it's once again time to look at 20 more hidden video game details that you may have missed. As always, I've done my best to search through my archives to bring you a mixture of the recognisable and the not so recognisable, so there should be something here for everyone. Oh, and I don't want to keep mentioning it, but we are now just 29,000 subscribers away from 1 million. But don't subscribe yet. That is if you were going to. Watch the video first, see if it's your sort of thing, and if it is, help me out by hitting subscribe. Just ignore my voice for this video as I have a really sore throat. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Now, I was playing games back in the early days of Xbox Live. And let me tell you, back then, game chat was like the Wild West. Of course, gaming companies didn't want that sort of thing to continue, so they began moderating in-game communication, which is why game chat is still like the Wild West, just the parts of the Wild West that have loads of tumbleweed. I mean, even if you did want to get involved in a back and forth with somebody, games like Overwatch 2 straight up won't let you. If you type something as inoffensive as GG Easy into the in-game chat, your message will be changed to something entirely different. Now, I'm guessing at some point in your life, you thought that someone in a position of power was stupid. It might have been a parent, a teacher, or in the case of Destroy All Humans, it might be politicians. One of the powers that you can use in Destroy All Humans is the brain extract, which does exactly what you think it does. That being, extract the brain of your chosen target. Well, when you extract the brain of a regular person, it looks like a normal sized brain, give or take a few inches. However, when you extract the brain of a senator, the size of their brain is ridiculously small, which is pretty funny. Speaking of politics, this next detail centers around one of the most divisive issues of our time. If you visit the toilet in Starfield, you can do this. So for no reason whatsoever, you can choose to flip the toilet roll. I mean, it's a funny detail to add, but we all know the right way is this way. Now, Dead by Daylight is full of characters from movies and other games, and sometimes these characters can interact with each other in cool ways, but only in very specific situations. The Nemesis from Resident Evil was added to Dead by Daylight all the way back in 2021. And he was joined by Leon Kennedy, and more importantly, Jill Valentine. Now, Nemesis spent basically the entirety of Resident Evil 3 trying to hunt Jill down, and it seems that he holds a grudge. Take a look at how Nemesis pulls Ash from the Evil Dead out of his hiding space. So Nemesis doesn't say anything, he prefers to let his giant hand do the talking. Well, compare that to how he reacts to finding Jill. So, when he finds Jill, he will say stars. And if you've played Resident Evil 3, that's a voice line you'll have definitely heard before. Now, video game cheats are basically a thing of the past, which is pretty sad. There was nothing better than beating a game and then going back and trying to break it with cheats. For some reason, developers seem to hate cheats now, as very few new releases include them, which makes revisiting games with cheat menus that much cooler, especially if those menus had some personality. Take Conkers Bad Fur Day, for example. The cheats menu is overseen by an imp, and if you keep entering the same incorrect cheat code, the imp will get more and more annoyed.
Somebody told you the wrong cheat. Didn't work first time, ain't gonna work second time, dipshit.
Now, when someone dies in a game, usually that's it. I mean, they either despawn within seconds, or they're completely forgotten after completing a mission or a level. Well, Cyberpunk 2077 handles things differently. At the beginning of the game, you're betrayed by Dexter Deshawn, who wants to distance himself from a heist that went wrong. And I mean really wrong. Well, luckily for you, someone needs to know what you know, so after helping Takamura find the place he dumped your body, Dexter is given a taste of his own medicine in the form of a bullet to the dome. Now, Takamura soon whisks you away from the junkyard, and you continue on with the game. But what's really, really cool is, if you go back to the junkyard, you can find this. So Dexter's body is right where Takemura left it. This isn't the only time that you can find the body of someone important to the game's plot in the open world, but it is one of my favourite examples. Now, in a Battlefield game, there are plenty of things that can get you killed, but I bet you didn't think that one of those things would be the humble rat. On the Uprising mission, you have to crawl your way through a pipe to avoid some enemies, but it turns out that the real enemy was in the pipe all along.
The PLR is reaching out with catastrophe help to all American soldiers.
So if you fail to shake the rat off your finger, it will lead to you being discovered and killed. But before you succumb to your injuries, you make sure to flip the rat off first, which I think is hilarious. Now, it's no secret that I love a good idle animation, but the idle animations in the original Assassin's Creed aren't just good, they are surprisingly realistic. Well, for some of us anyway. You see, if you leave Desmond idle for long enough, he will eventually do this.
Sit down.
So it turns out that even the descendants of assassins need to sort out a wedgie every now and again. The next time that you're fishing your underwear out of your butt crack, remember that you too could be an assassin, you just don't know it yet. Or you might just have a wedgie. Now, whenever a new console or piece of hardware is released, a great way to showcase its graphical power is to play a racing game. Well, racing games aren't just cool because they're pretty. They also have some really cool attention to detail. In 2019's Grid, you can communicate with your team over the radio, which can be pretty useful for securing first place.
Yeah, there's no rival in this event. Your teammate is in mid-pack.
Here's the thing, if you enter a tunnel, this will happen.
Sure, I'll ask your teammate to put pipes.
So because you're in a tunnel, the communication with your team will become crackly and distorted. So fingers crossed they aren't saying anything important. Now, I love the EA era of James Bond games, so if I'm ever given the chance to talk about them, you best believe I'm gonna take it. The Exchange is 007 Nightfire's second mission, and honestly, this mission blew my mind as a kid, as it had so many different ways to complete it. Okay, so there was like 3 ways, but that's definitely more than one. Well, after making your way into the compound, you can find a guard chilling by a fountain. And if you've remained undetected up to this point, and then take the guard out with a silenced headshot, Bond will say this.
I'd give that dive a 3, actually.
Look, I know it's just a simple line of dialogue, but this might have been one of the very first details that I ever found back when I was a kid. So cut me some slack. So when it comes to video games' most unlikely duos, I'd argue that Hank and Connor from Detroit Become Human are right up there. Hank is the worn down detective counting the days to his retirement, and Connor, well, Connor's Connor.
Connor, the fuck are you doing?
Coming, Lieutenant.
Well, even though they seem like complete opposites, that doesn't mean that they don't admire each other. Or at least each other's tricks. You see, when we first see Connor, he's doing a really cool coin trick that I bet at least one of you will try after watching this video.
You're starting to piss me off with that coin, Connor.
Sorry, Lieutenant.
Don't worry, you won't be the only one, as later in the game, you can find Hank trying and failing to do the same trick. So Bad Boys 2 on the PS2 is a pretty bad game. I mean, not only do you not play as Will Smith or Martin Lawrence, which to be fair could be seen as a positive, but even at the time of release, everything just felt outdated. Well, apart from one thing. You see, if you've ever seen a Bad Boys movie, you'll know that gunfights usually end with bullet holes all over the place. And the same is true of this game. But what I found really impressive is the lighting effects caused by all those bullet holes. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I think the way that the light shines through these bullet holes looks awesome, and dare I say it, way ahead of its time. Like I said, for a game that feels so outdated in almost every other aspect, this detail is really impressive. Now, considering that both James and Maria are trapped in a town that's full of monsters, Maria seems surprisingly chill about the whole thing. Don't get me wrong, it's nice that she's not the stereotypical damsel in distress, but she could at least try to take things seriously. If you're not familiar with Maria's attitude to imminent danger, when visiting a hotel to look for supplies and the code to a safe, she takes this time to check out a new outfit.
Hey, you think I'd look good in this one?
Sure.
Not quite the ringing endorsement, but hey, I'll take it.
So James will humour Maria and say that the dress is nice. However, if you have bigger fish to fry and just straight up ignore Maria and her choice of dress, she will say this.
Hey, you think I'd look good in this one? You know I would. It's a classic.
So Maria will acknowledge the fact that you straight up ignored her, which is pretty cool. Oh, and the reason that she calls the outfit a classic is because this is the same outfit that Maria wore in the original Silent Hill 2. So it's kind of like an Easter egg and a detail, all in one. Now, whenever the urge to visit the toilet for a number 2 in public arises, I'm guessing we all do our best to hold it in, or at the least hope that the bathroom is quiet so that you can do your business in peace. Well, the guards in Crysis 2 have no such luck. If you keep shooting this porta potty, this will happen.
Hey, it's occupied! Come on, leave me alone! Hey, cut it out! It's not gonna happen any faster! Leave it out, man! Whoa! Bastard, I'm gonna find you!
Now, when it comes to video game enemies, some of the scariest of recent times are the Rippers from Days Gone. I mean, there's always something creepy about any cult, but a cult that worships the Freakers and are known to kidnap and torture anyone who doesn't believe, well, that's really creepy. With that being said, if you were interested in joining the Rippers, you might want to know just how dedicated they are. You see, whenever a Ripper sees a Freaker, they will do this. So the Rippers will straight up sacrifice themselves to a Freaker, which on the one hand is really cool, but on the other hand is actually pretty disturbing. Speaking of creepy video game enemies, up next is Left 4 Dead 2. Now, when I say creepy, I'm not thinking about the standard zombies who are basically cannon fodder, nor am I talking about the special infected who can be annoying, but when you're rolling with a team of 4, usually don't provide much of a challenge. What I am talking about are clowns, and more specifically, zombie clowns. These uncommon infected can be found on the Dark Carnival stage, so if you're scared of clowns, stay well clear. Now, even though these clowns look scary, there is a way to make them appear a little less intimidating. If you melee a clown zombie, this will happen. So admittedly they are still scary, but being able to honk the nose of a zombie clown does take the edge off. Now when it comes to the Ace Combat series, I'm very much a novice. I don't claim to be the most skilled pilot in the world, but even with my limited skill set, I was able to pull off a pretty cool trick. During Mission 6, you need to take down some ground targets, which even for me, is pretty basic stuff. Well, if you wanted to spice things up, you can perform a super risky maneuver, which will cause some people to think that you just died.
No, we got a fire!
Trigger crashed. Trolling idiot.
Now, at no point in the mission do you have to fly through this tunnel, which means it's very possible to miss this dialogue. So a few hours into God of War Ragnarok, you'll meet Ratatoska, who tells you that if you ever need him, just ring his chime, which is nice of him. Well, if you want to take the chime for a test run or 2 or 20, Ratatoska will do this.
Perhaps there was some confusion. This is for calling me out here, not for when I am here. Do you just like hearing the sound of the chimes? I suppose they do sound very pretty. Master Kratos, this feels very uncharacteristic of you, but if you enjoy the pretty chimes that much, I will allow you to indulge. Yes, you've done it. Well thrown. Ah, the sound of the chimes is not unpainful at this distance, so perhaps you could not? Already here, as it were. So, I see you're deliberately attempting to push me into some sort of emotional outburst, aren't you? Well, I'm not so easily swayed, my good man. Stop with the stupid chime! Oh dear. I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from.
Now, despite being called Bully, the whole point of Bully is to stop bullies, something which a lot of angry parents and politicians at the time didn't realise. Still, that doesn't mean you can't do at least some bullying, but the style of bullying will change depending on your target. You see, when you're trying to antagonise a boy from behind, Jimmy will do this.
Another crushing blow for Fatty.
So Jimmy will perform the classic wedgie, which, come to think of it, might explain why Desmond was struggling earlier. Anyway, if you want to antagonise a girl, he'll do this instead.
What the hell? Really are silly.
So this time, Jimmy will nip the girl's bum. I'll let you guys decide which one is worse. Now, if you're anything like me, when you play a game, you want to explore everything you can. Rules be damned. Well, in Deus Ex Human Revolution, before meeting with Pritchard, you can have a look around Sarif Industries HQ. And that includes both the men's and ladies' rooms. If you spend too long in the ladies' bathroom and then go and meet with Pritchard, he will call Adam out on his strange behaviour.
Oh, and by the way, Jensen, I know you've gone through a lot of physical changes of late, but you didn't become a woman. Stay out of the ladies' restroom.
So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then perhaps consider subscribing for more videos all about Easter egg secrets and details. If you want to support the channel further and actually get something in return, then check out GamerSupps using the QR code on screen or the link in the description. With code CAP, you get 10% off every order you make, plus I get a small kickback. So it's a win-win. Anyway, as always, thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.